Well, hello everyone, mccrossin here, and today we are going to talk about Albert Camus just a little bit, and we're going to make a little argument today about one of his points that he makes in the book, The Basic Writings of Existentialism, and one of his biggest things I personally think, and it's definitely one of a good topic that is to bring an argument out of. So Camus makes this point, that suicide is a legitimate philosophical problem. And for me, I'm going to make an argument today stating that I do not agree with that. There's many reasons why, I don't agree with that. Number one is suicide in general. It's definitely something that I don't agree with. Uh, Definitely something that people. It's unfortunately that people do seek to it. They feel like there's nothing in life, and it really puts a burden on me because there's so much out there to love. There's so much out there to do, and Camus tries to make that point, but also kind of steers away from it. I disagree with his point. As reading this chapter in the book, seeing some of the things he says, I just don't agree with it. One of the biggest things that he says that kind of brings the point to life is, I mean, the first page, page 441, he says, and I quote, "There is but only one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide," end quote. Um, and he also says right under that, quote, "Judging whether life is or is not worth living amounts to the answering the fundamental question of philosophy," end quote. Um, so he's basically saying within those two sentences, um, you know, these people that decide to, commit suicide, are they answering the true? There are they answering that true philosophical question? It's my time. There's nothing really worth me living. There's nothing worth me doing. And Camus makes that point where he says, there's the one big legitimate philosophical problem, which is suicide. Um, then he quotes, then he says you know, on page 442, he says, and I quote, "On the other hand, I see many people die because they judge that life is not worth living. I see others paradoxically getting killed for the ideas of illusions and give them the reason for living. What is called a reason for living is also an excellent reason for dying," end quote. And what he's saying there is that, um, he sees people that are getting judged. People that maybe don't have everything, aren't the richest, aren't the most powerful, and to those people, and to those people that believe Camus and his writings and his readings and everything he says, they believe that, okay, I don't have anything. It's Guess that's it. I mean, I'm answering the philosophical question of suicide, and I'm answering the question that I don't deserve to be here anymore. And to me, it's just wrong. Um, you should never feel that pain and that powerless, and to say that, hey, I don't deserve to be here. It's just sad. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I personally disagree. Within those first two pages of just the chapter where he says, you know, you should really look at, is your life even worth living if you don't have all this? Also in this chapter, there's a little story about a man that lost his kid, lost his daughter, and you know he it was all in his heart. And at the end of his time, he said, "You know what? There's no really reason for me to be here. I lost all the people that I love. I lost what I have, And to him, that was enough for him to say, well, that's it. I lost what I want. I lost my love, lost my passion, I lost everything. Um, when people, he also says in here, quote, newspapers often speak of personal sorrows or irrecurable curable diseases, and quote. And when he says that, is what he means is when newspapers write, people are committing suicide, it's because of, maybe they have a little personal issue within them, or maybe they have an incurable disease where, what, life's over. But that's not true. To me, someone that has an incurable disease, they still have hope. I've seen so many stories personally that these people have hope, that hope that maybe Jesus, God, their faith will just pull them the other direction. Faith will overcome them, and they'll get better. With personal sorrows, there's so many people out there that go through so much. Um, these people that go through death, that go through losses of life, that go through bullying, everything else. And to those people, there's not much for them to be here. Um, and Camus makes that point where, if people were like him and agreed with him, those points would just be the end. You're not living the philosophical term that he wants you to live, and you're not living in the right state of mind, so you just need to commit suicide. And that's just another reason why um, I completely just disagree with him. He makes a lot of good points in here. Um, you know, Camus was a big writer on this whole suicide thing, and that it is a legitimate problem. Um, but after reading this, after reading some of the stuff, um, the one also thing is the big word that I see in here is powerless. Um, these people that feel just powerless, that they don't have everything, and for that, um, that's one of his big things is powerless. These people just don't feel like they have what they need. They don't feel that they have that they want, and that's it. Um, it's sad, but it's a true thing. And for someone to think this, I'll keep saying it. It's just making me more and more disagree with the fact that this is the biggest philosophical problem. There are so many out there, other problems, and for him to say this is the biggest, I agree with him a little bit, just because suicide is a big deal, and it is unfortunately a way of life for some people. They have that feeling that you know we don't deserve to be here, we don't need to be here, um, anything like that. But at the same time, there are people out there, and this makes me. This is the reason why I do completely 100% disagree with a little bit of agreeing, but I do disagree truly, because there are people out there that get the help that they need and understand that just because of one little issue, that's not the reason to end the world and to end your life and to end leaving this world, because they see that there are reasons to be here. Um, and Camus doesn't really bring that up, that these people are just leaving. They're just saying, scrape it up, I'm out. Um, I have no point of living anymore. There's no point of me being here. Um, and he really proves it. He proves the point that, you know, he says that, they always cover it up by saying it's something else, but really he thinks it's because of these issues, the powerless, the feeling that you have nothing left, the feeling that, you know, you you're living in a fake body. You don't deserve to be here, and you're faking it. You're not okay. And for him to say that, it's just making me. That's really big reason why I disagree. It's just because you know, suicide is such a big issue to me that, for him to say that it is the biggest philosophical problem, I completely agree with. And the reasons why he says these people are committing suicide, and the reason why he says it's the biggest philosophical reason, because people feel powerless. People just feel like they don't deserve to be here. You know, people lose things, lose loved ones, death. Maybe they lose money, they get poor, their company shuts down, anything like that. And to him, if a person did that and the person told him that, oh, I'm losing all this stuff, he would say, okay, you know what, you just don't deserve to be here anymore. And to me, I completely disagree with that. If I was Camus and if I was a philosopher and someone came up to me and said, hey, I lost all this stuff, my main goal would be like, all right, we're going to figure out a way to make this better, because, suicide's not the answer. To some people, it is. And unfortunately, that's a very sad thing that we have to deal with nowadays. But to me, I disagree with the way that Camus shapes it, and I also disagree with Camus say that it's the biggest philosophical problem. Thank you so much.